Welcome to our world. Won't you come on in? Waiting just for you. Welcome to our world.
All right, we're now recording.
Welcome to our world.
No,
Just
you
kidding.
can't do that. I
All
don't
right,
think I'm allowed
anyway.
to. Okay, check 1, 2. Too
Check.
quiet. Okay, that was louder when I talk louder. Hold on, I have to move. There we go. Oh, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Hold on.
Okay, well, no.
I have to adjust
No.
just the up and down.
Alrighty.
Hello.
Stop. Every time you do that and we listen to it back, it messes up the audio. Okay, I think you know
I
what
think it's
time
too
it
low.
is.
What time is it?
It's time for you to tell us what our topic is today.
Our topic today.
All right, I actually have a good one. So,
Okay, go ahead. Will be
no, do you have one?
vintage computer games.
Certainly not.
Okay, go ahead.
I could not tell you. I mean,
Go ahead. What's our subject? Just tell me.
A vintage computer game for me is like Super Mario World.
This is
You're talking about what?
Age
Battlestar
of
Galactica or
Empires.
something. Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, well then, yeah, I guess that is a vintage game for me too.
But we can do a different subject if you want.
Well, what do you want to talk about with that?
Go ahead. You tell me what your subject is.
No,
we're
go
going to talk
ahead.
about our strategies.
This is your
no,
our
this
Age of
will bore
Empires
people to
strategies.
death. No, we're not going to do that. It'll bore people to death.
Well, here's the thing, everyone. I don't think I think if we talked about it in like an actually interesting way, it wouldn't bore people.
It would bore people.
All right. So I think the main issue is how many people
I'm bored already.
How many people in our audience, aka Uncle Brian,
We
play
have-
Age of Empires.
Right, if we take a poll, it'll be 0%.
Okay, so then this is how
Unless we can get Uncle Brian
make,
to start playing, then it'll be 100%.
This is how we make this episode interesting, which is we connect the lessons we learn playing Age of Empires to life lessons.
to life. No, is that
So go
seriously what our
ahead.
subject is?
This is your episode, so yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
I got nothing.
Well, go
Okay.
ahead. What do you want to talk about? with Age of
Maybe our
Empires?
subject today
Okay, well, no. So here, go ahead. What?
should be the Philadelphia Eagles. No, I don't think that should be our subject today.
I don't even know if this could be a whole episode really, but I was
Probably.
thinking about it this morning. I was driving back from walking the dogs this morning and I was stopped at this street so that I could let someone in, as you do when you're a nice person, much like myself. And this person looks at me, clearly looks at me. It's bright outside. I can
Mhm.
see. Looks
Mhm.
at me, looks the other way to like make sure it's all okay.
Mhm.
Looks back at me and just goes
Mhm.
and doesn't wave at me.
No
right?
wave, no smile, nothing.
And I know for you, I won't speak for you, but you can maybe. How do you feel about that when that happens?
When that happens to me, I get really angry, but I don't show it. I'm just like, okay, yeah, you have a nice day too.
Okay, so I actually
It makes you feel like less than a person.
It
makes you
does.
feel extremely insignificant. Like that person couldn't take 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds, 1 second out of their day. They couldn't expend the energy to either raise their hand a little bit to give you a little wave or even a slight nod of the head, just that little head
Yep.
nod that takes like probably 1/10 of 1 calorie. You aren't even that important for them to do that.
Yeah, like they can't even acknowledge your good deed.
Yep.
But actually, I think that was my exact reaction out loud and in my car by myself. I'm pretty sure I said, "All right, you have a great day too." I think I said that.
I think what we should do, okay, I'll do this. We will install a megaphone on your car so that when someone does that, you can literally just turn the megaphone on and you can just say that to them. Okay, yep, you have a nice day too. Thank you for even acknowledging my existence and the wonderful, kind deed.
I think that's a great idea, but I'm going to pass on that for right now, maybe later. But so then, like a second after that, I let her go. I sarcastically say something to myself. I carry on around the traffic circle and I'm like, It makes me think because I didn't like my reaction, which was negative then. And it made me ask myself, why did I do that good deed? And that's not even, letting someone go in traffic is not really a good deed, I wouldn't say. That's a pretty big stretch. It's like a nice thing to do. Okay.
It's like a lower level. It's a level 1 good deed.
What are the other levels?
Well, you upgrade. The level 2 is like, I don't know, there's level 2, and then level 3 is maybe helping an old lady across the street. Level 2 is probably just pointing and telling the old lady, go that way, and then standing and watching her walk across the street.
And level 3 is actually helping her across the street?
Helping her across the street.
What's level 4?
Level 4 is, I don't know, if she falls down, you help her up.
What if she doesn't fall down?
Take her to the hospital.
You push her down
over,
so that you can pick her back up.
Yeah,
okay.
so you can get
That
the
makes
credit
sense.
for that. Yep.
But I guess the whole thing that I was thinking on my drive back then was, why do people actually do nice things? Is it for that person or is it for themselves? Because you think about this situation specifically, I let that person in initially because I'm like, well, I would want someone to let me in. It's a nice thing to do, right? And so I'm just thinking that would be nice for them because I don't know if the people behind me will let them in, and it's a whole thing, right? But then right after that, when she does not acknowledge my nice deed, I'm then like, okay, I'm mad about it because she didn't acknowledge it. So why am I actually doing the nice thing? It's for myself. Therefore, is it actually a nice thing?
I disagree.
Why?
I don't know. I just disagree. No, I think...
Thanks for joining us this week, everyone.
Yeah. I think, here's the thing. I don't think it's selfish to just expect the person just to like acknowledge your good deed.
But why? What difference does it make? You have still done your part.
Yeah, but otherwise, half the time I wonder, okay, did they even realize like what I just did here?
But what difference does it make? If the goal was to make their day better and to like give them a nice moment.
But the huge sacrifice that you made at that moment.
It was neither huge nor a sacrifice.
I don't know.
Let me clarify.
Maybe you placed an order at McDonald's and now it's going to be cold because you're going to have to wait an extra 5 seconds to get through the light or something. Maybe you're going to wind up hitting somebody just because of the way things work out. And you wouldn't have hit them if you had gone when you planned it. That woman, by not even acknowledge, she could have ruined your entire life.
Okay, well, is that like the butterfly effect?
Yes,
you believe in that?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. She could have ruined your entire life.
I don't believe in that.
I think it's probably very likely she did.
She ruined my entire life?
Yes. From this point on, I would...
Honestly, I do that all by myself. She does not. I do not need anyone's help. She does not have to do that for me. I'm all good on that front. I don't know. I just think, and I'll speak for myself and not for people in general. I think I try to do nice things for people and think like what would help people in moments, and when I can make little sacrifices, if you want to call it that, in those moments, I'm like, well, this is super easy for me to do and it'll help you out. So yes, go ahead. But then the moment where I'm like, yes, you have a great day, even though you did not acknowledge my good deed. It doesn't matter if they don't acknowledge it. Good. Yeah, you should still feel good.
The thing is, think about it. And this would describe me more than you.
Okay.
So that one time every 2-3 weeks when I do something nice for someone.
Sure.
If I don't get any kind of acknowledgement from them that I did something nice, even a little wave or whatever, it then that, I'm not going to say it ruins my day, but I'm really disappointed.
Well, I think for you that makes sense since you do them so often. It's more, or so
rarely.
Rarely. It's more like a big event for you.
It's more like it ruins the week or, well, this month's shot. But here's the thing, right? So if let's say on the way, you go out, you pretty much walk dogs every day right now, right?
Sure.
You go out, you're driving somewhere pretty much every day. So let's say in a typical day, if there were, I don't know, half a dozen times, let's say there's something else you do where you interact with people more, and half a dozen times you do something like that. Odds are at least a few of those times the people are going to acknowledge your immense kindness.
Again, I don't consider that immense kindness. I just want to make that clear. I think that's more like common courtesy.
Just the enormous sacrifice that you've made. And in that case then, So you feel good. So probably that's why people who do things regularly are
Right.
regularly nice, and just it's almost becomes, we talk about like with Eric, right? And his running and stuff.
Yeah.
How and anyone that gets into that, a lot of times it almost becomes like an addiction, right? They
Mhm.
they don't feel right if they don't go and run or walk every day or whatever it is that they're doing. I think for someone who's just nice to other people, it almost becomes like that probably. And it's like
Right.
you actually change yourself. So in the end, like my goal is to become Mr. Rogers at some point. Mostly because I just want to walk in the house and like change my sweater to I want to have shoes that I put on in the house versus outside the house.
You don't own any
I
sweaters.
don't know why. I know. I have to start by buying a sweater
Okay.
and some shoes that I can only wear in the house.
Yes.
But no, like I bet you those people just feel good all the time. I bet they really do. Or I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they go in their house and they close the door and they cry all day. But I figure, okay, if that happens, I'm no worse off than I am now.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't. Generally speaking, yeah. Is it a nice thought to think that people that regularly do nice things are happier people? Maybe. Or maybe they are sadder and that's why they do nice things for other people because they know what it's like to be sad and they don't want other people to feel that way.
Right. But either way, I can't imagine that they're sad. I think those people have to feel pretty good. Because they probably get used to, well, put it this way. If you do nice things all the time, you probably, right now when you do it, okay, like let's say you go up to that light and you're waiting and you look over and you sort of wave the person on, you probably have like a really angry scowl on your face, like, oh, go on.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's what I look like. Yep.
But probably you get to the point where you're all happy and like you have a smile on your face and then they have to smile back.
I mean,
Maybe that's what it
I
is.
feel like usually when I'm letting someone in, especially because let's make it clear, like we live in Florida. Drivers are not nice here. And so most times when I'm letting someone in, I will do like a little nod or a little smile or a little wave or something because a lot of drivers don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I think I do that already.
I've never seen that. I mean, I can only judge by, like, usually if you're doing something nice for me, it's usually with very, like, you're mad about it.
A scowl. I always have a scowl.
You're mad about it.
Yeah, I'm reluctant.
You're very begrudgingly.
Yes,
you're like,
begrudgingly. That's a good word. Proud of you for that.
Like you do it, but then you're not happy about it. And you verbally let me know usually that you're not happy about it. And then usually you threaten to kill me in my sleep.
I don't think I've ever done that.
I don't know.
I don't think I have.
Split personality.
I think, okay, well, that's a different podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a different episode.
No, that's a whole different podcast. That's not, we don't know anything about it. Well, no, I think though, maybe you can't do that right now.
I have a help desk ticket.
You don't even, whatever. Anyway.
Oh, that's not mine.
I think the point that I'm trying to make is a similar analogy is, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound? It's like, if you do a good deed and nobody acknowledges it, does it count? I was like, yes, of course it does. If a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, of course it makes a sound.
Right.
What a stupid question. It does. No one needs to hear it for it to make a sound.
Or at least the squirrels that are getting crushed and thrown out of the tree as it falls make a sound.
Okay. I guess anyway. So in general, the point is that I think we should all take away from this moment, that I will take away. I don't know what you'll do with this, but I think the next time that I go to do something nice for someone, let someone in, let someone walk in the parking lot, do just a generally nice thing, I'm going to actively not look for the reaction, because I feel like that is doing a disservice to myself as a person, because then I train myself to look for the gratefulness from the other person as opposed to just doing something because it's the right thing to do.
Right. Right. Do you flipping it around, do you try to acknowledge the other person if they do something nice for you like that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm
the worst with that, because I will I do this. Okay. So this is a good example. I will do that if people let me in the car and all that. But in the morning when I'm walking the dogs, if I have to cross the street, I wait at the crosswalk, and whenever cars stop to let me in, I always, first of all, I like hike it across the road. I don't stroll across the road. You know those people,
Oh, I hate that.
you stop and they're like, oh, well, I'm just on my leisurely morning walk. It's like, no, you gotta run.
Who cares if you're 92? You can run.
Right. And then what happens is because usually when I do that, there's an old lady crossing the road with me. And so I wind up getting to like the level 2 or the level 3 tier of kindness, because sometimes level 4, I've knocked her over
You
a few
pick her
times.
you pick her up and carry her.
I've never done that. But my point is, whoever lets me cross the road, I feel, maybe this is also an issue though, because I feel like I'm inconveniencing everyone here. Like, talk about the butterfly effect if you believe in that. I feel like I'm inconveniencing everyone here right now, and I'm going to run across the street while also waving the whole time to let everyone know how grateful I am.
Okay.
So I don't just do, maybe it's not that bad, but I don't just do like the one little thanks. I do like thanks,
so this
everyone.
becomes almost like an
sorry.
awkward thing. Like, you're not just like waving a quick thank you. You're like waving, and then they wave back, and then you keep waving, and it's like, okay, this is really awkward now.
It's not, no, it's certainly not awkward. And most of the time, I think probably because I have the dogs, most of the time the people are like waving back or smiling or something, because dogs, if I were just by myself and I did that, they would not smile at me. I don't think. I think then it'd be weird and awkward. But I usually just like do a wave, because I have cars on both sides.
Yeah.
So I'll do like a wave to the left person, and then a wave to the right, and then a wave back to the left person. Like, yes, I'm still grateful. And then another wave to the right, and then that's it. So yes, to answer your question, I do acknowledge people.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe if you, so this is if someone's in a car, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, first of all, you're talking about
That's different.
people walking,
Yes.
okay? It bothers me more than someone not waving, acknowledging. It bothers me more if they walk really slowly. And I'm not talking if they're walking really slowly because they're obviously really out of shape, or if they're really old.
If there's a reason for them to be walking
like
slowly.
It's like somebody that's like 17 years old and they just walk really slowly, like because they're with their friends and they want to look cool.
Yeah,
or
I was
something
just gonna
like
say
that,
because they're trying to
okay?
look cool. Yeah.
And I found the best thing to do, especially if they don't wave. At least if they wave and say thank you, then fine, take your time. If they don't do that, the best thing to do is just step on the gas. Step on the gas.
My
You don't have to run over them. You just sort of have to tap them a little bit.
We've come full circle though, because this is my whole point. It's literally the same principle. If you're in a car and you're letting someone cross the street, why do you? I mean, you shouldn't.
It's tough love.
You shouldn't therefore expect them to acknowledge
Tough
you.
love.
Number one, as we've discussed,
love.
and number two, if they go slowly, hey, you're the one that stopped and let them go. You knew that this was a possibility, that this could happen, that they would get on 4 legs and crawl across the road, do the worm, like whatever it is. You knew that this was a possibility.
I know, but I have to teach them a lesson then.
No, you don't.
It's
You
my
didn't have
responsibility.
to stop for them at all, unless it was a crosswalk, in which case it's illegal not to stop for pedestrians.
I have to teach them a lesson, and I have, as the adult in the car,
in the vicinity.
I have to teach them a lesson. I have to do something. I mean, the other thing you could do is just lay on the horn. As soon as they get halfway across, and you can see they're just like taking their time. It's like,
all right,
let's wrap it up. Let's get moving.
Have you ever actually done something like that, though?
No, I haven't.
Well, then what are we talking about here?
So if you think about doing that, does that make you a bad person?
Yes.
I don't know if that's true. I'm a horrible person.
I think.
Can I be arrested for that?
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to think, because there was something I once read that was like your initial thought, like your initial reaction when something happens or in a situation is not. Well, this actually sounds bad. Now I'm remembering the whole thing. It's your initial thought when something happens is based on how you were raised. but it's what you actually do or say after that. So your second reaction that reflects on you as a person. So I guess using that, no, your very first thought is it's okay to have a bad thought.
I can do that as
long
as
But if you hold on to that and you're like, yes, I'm angry and I'm going to hit this person and I really, really shouldn't, I want to, then
right.
But you don't actually hit them, so I don't know.
If you tell people you hate them and you don't want to be around them, but you're nice to them most of the time, or in fact you're nice to them all the time, Other than when you repeatedly tell them you don't like being around them. What are you then?
You're fake. You're fake
you
and you
still
have
a
no
good-
friends.
Are you still? Well,
All right, everyone. We'll
Okay.
see you next week.
all right. Goodbye.
Woo!
We now go back to smooth jazz.
That was great. That was great work. Good job, me.
You're to be commended. Go ahead, say it.
I'm to be congratulated,
Yeah,
of course.
congratulated.
What's that from?
1776.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
No,
You had me thinking for a minute. Wait, am I wrong?
no, that's never
Am
happened
I
before.
wrong?
You've never been. What is that
Am I
from?
wrong?
What's that from? Am I?
You're going to tell me.
Oh yes, you're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong. Am I wrong? She wore a crown and she came down in a bubble, Doug. Grow up. Grow up.